You can probably tell from the timestamp, but this is going to be one of those much shorter episodes that I mentioned. So here we are at Troya. Just gonna waltz inside the castle, talk to their sexy lady regents. Let me find my tongue this morning. Sexy lady regents, but first, we have to go into this little side wing and find our old friend Edward. Yay, I guess. Edward, you're the worst character in all of Final Fantasy. Even worse than Yavi. At least she was competent. So make absolutely sure that you come and talk to Edward before you try going to the magnetic cavern to get the crystal, and I'll explain why once we get there. Well, Edward, you are worthless. Deal with it. I love that he gives you his second harp and gives you no explanation as to what it's for, what he wants you to do with it. Nothing. So you leave the castle, you go up north, and you find yourself a black chocobo. There we go. And that allows you to fly, which we already have an airship, but we need a chocobo in this singular instance because they can land in forests, and the Enterprise cannot land in forests. So if you plan to fight your way through this cave, and I'd really recommend you just run away from every encounter and only fight the final boss in it. If you do plan to fight your way through, you need to unequip anything made of metal. So Yang's claws, Cecil's swords, even armor, even accessories will all slow you down and make you unable to move. But if you made it this far, you should be able to take on the boss, so you can just run away from every encounter and not worry about that. Which apparently this cavern is occupied with a magical magnetic field because this dark elf is weak to metallic weapons. You can see Tello right now is paralyzed because he's equipped with probably an iron ring or something along those lines. Now this fight was also very annoying when I first got here because I didn't realize you were supposed to talk to Edward first. You're supposed to lose this fight, which I'm about to do right now. But if you haven't spoken to Edward, this fight starts off and this guy does 9,999 damage to each of your party members, and then there's a game over. I saw that occur probably 3 times before I actually thought to look up what I was doing wrong, because I knew you're supposed to lose the fight, but I didn't realize I was supposed to talk to Edward first. If you do talk to Edward first, he gives you that harp, the elf casts some magic against you, and then you get this small cutscene here. I think Edward just did a big Rick Force push there. The man does play a mad harp, though. I have to give him credit for that. So this is the first of, I think, a half dozen times after Cecil becomes a paladin, where he just gets his ass kicked by the boss, before you even fight the boss. You will be seeing that death pose a lot. Alright, now we can fuck this guy up proper. Now you can go back in and equip your party members with all their equipment. All their good weapons, all their good armor, everything. Of course, I never bothered to buy Sid anything more than a wooden hammer. Because well, he's not with you for very long. Yang's claws don't affect his attack power, but they do affect the element with which he can attack, and that fairy claw can afflict various status ailments, I believe. And as you can see, the Dark Elf is now significantly defanged from what he was earlier. Although he still has that wind spell, which is a very frustrating spell, and I'm glad that it stopped making an appearance after a while. And you can see just how weak he is to metal, because Cecil's hitting for over 1,000 damage now. When at this point he's only hitting for 200 to 300. Except, oh no, he's actually a dark dragon. Now the real boss music starts. Except I'm absolutely dismantling this guy, so he's not much of a threat. Alright, we did it. We fucking killed that guy. For some reason you can't cast Exit in this room. You need to go out into the cavern and cast Exit there. You come back here to the sexy lady regions of Troya, and they get all excited because you have the crystal. So from this point on, you can't go anywhere with your airship. You need to take that black chocobo if you'd like to go anywhere, because as soon as you get on your airship, first Kane approaches you, and then, after this little cutscene, anytime you get on your airship, you'll go straight to the Tower of Zot, which doesn't appear to exist anywhere in world. You only access it, in fact, you can only access it at this point in the game from your airship, which again takes you there automatically by just racing straight up into the air. So this episode is about over, but after this, the game will be cracked wide open and have its marrow sucked out because there's a very powerful power leveling trick you can take advantage of in this tower, which I will explain in the next episode.